How's it going? Welcome to We Do Better News. My name is Rick Rifkin, coming to you from Austin, Texas, and I am your host today. And We Do Better News is brought to you by We Do Better, and we're here to cover just awesome stories today. We've got a story about school lunches, then about Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas, and then about ayahuasca. And then we have this really special guest that's going to be on to talk about a brand new financial technology platform that also is a healthcare platform that could really change the game when it comes to healthcare as a whole in the United States and around the world. Remember school lunches and what those were like? So in Indiana, there's quite a few kids that experience something that's called food insecurity. And food insecurity affects about 16% of school kids in Indiana. And really what that means is that, they're not quite getting the proper nutrition or the proper amount of food, or, not quite the food that they like. And there's just something, unhealthy and incomplete about their eating. There's just not enough food in the house and whatnot. And so currently there is a government program in Indiana. The National School Lunch Program does spend around around $4 a student a day, nationally, and spends billions of dollars to try to help kids make sure that they have lunch. Now, this one Indiana nonprofit found that, in fact, sometimes students have these problems over the weekend, and sometimes students go the whole weekend or close to the whole weekend without really getting a meal. And so this nonprofit called HLTHE in Indiana has been they've been using food that's in the community, like at restaurants or, something like that, or at grocery stores that's about to get thrown out, and they make frozen packed lunches and meals and dinners for kids, and they put them in their backpacks for them to take home over the weekend so that these kids can fill the gap between, whether they are getting at home and what they should be getting, And so they are been able to, with a monthly donation of $35 from 400 people, they've been able to help about 140 kids every single week make sure that they get the food that they need. And again, the nonprofit is called HLTHE. They're based in Indiana. You can check them out in the show notes. Credit unions through the World Credit Union Federation and its charitable arm have donated to Hurricane Dorian relief efforts in the Bahamas. And they've donated over $10,000 just recently. And what's really great, and what I've discovered, is that the credit union space is actually, quite charitable, and they're really out for communities, specifically their local communities. Now, this instance is coming from a Wisconsin-based nonprofit, the Federation, but I wanted to talk about also a credit union called Connexus, because they've started a program just this year, and they have donated and raised a combined total of about $200,000 to put back into their own community. And I really wanted to highlight that because it's important that we're aware of what credit unions, just organizations in general, are doing in our local areas. And so definitely check out to see what your local credit union is up to. Maybe you're already a member of one. But Connexus is one that has recently made a pretty large donation to their local community. Now, a group called Heroic Hearts has been they've created an organization, a way to connect veterans with ayahuasca therapy. And if you're not familiar with ayahuasca, it's basically a brew or a stew that's made in South America with a particular kind of plant, the ayahuasca plant, and it has psychoactive, psychedelic effects that are quite potent, and they're usually done under the care of kind of a local guide, a shaman, if you would, in a very specific setting, right? And because it is a ritual that's found in South America. And it's really what Heroic Hearts has done is they've gone and helped veterans who are suffering from PTSD. And a lot of times veterans that have PTSD try to get resources from the Department of Veteran Affairs or from their local community, and it's often not quite enough. And PTSD has been notoriously hard to treat with mainstream drugs. And so I wanted to talk about this because the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Drugs, MAPS, I've got them on the screen here. MAPS has researched extensively into MDMA therapy, LSD therapy, ayahuasca therapy, and ibogaine therapy, especially ibogaine therapy for drug addiction. But all these different therapies have been extremely effective for combating both drug addiction and PTSD, and they just don't have the necessary research, and it's just because of the legality. Veterans and other people who suffer from these things are not able to get those treatments when really they have no other option. And when you've tried everything and nothing works, I think we need to just throw the controversy out the door and just give it a go. And these drugs are actually safe if used in the proper doses and under medical supervision. So again, check out MAPS and check out Heroic Hearts. You'll have that in the show notes below. All right, up next we have a special guest today. His name's Dave Graybill. Dave is in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and Dave is a former firefighter and a social entrepreneur. He is also the executive director of Pink Heels, and he's currently got a project going on called HLTHE. You go to HLTHE.com, HLTHE.com. He founded that company a few years ago, and he's here to tell us his story and what's so special about HLTHE and how it's going to help us fight a lot of the problems we have in our healthcare system today. So Dave, thanks for coming on. How's it going?
Fantastic, hot and dry here in Phoenix, Arizona. Doing great.
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar in Austin, Texas. So.
Right. In fact, I love Austin, Texas. I go there all the time. So on my travels with the pink fire trucks.
Yeah, so maybe not everyone knows about that. So tell us a little bit about your background. Obviously, former firefighter for 20 years, right?
Yeah, I was a professional baseball player for 7 years, Olympian, played in the Olympics in 1984. 1990, I got on the fire department, spent 21 years as a firefighter in Glendale, Arizona. While a firefighter, I invented a way to empower, inspire communities based on love of our women to keep fundraising local and deliver it personally to their front door. Hence, pink fire trucks celebrating our women, pink for girl, lights and sirens inspiring our local communities and businesses to raise money and give it to that person on a personal level at their home. Kind of like the 911 system.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now you started HLTHE, was it in 2015 or 2016?
Well, 2016 was kind of the idea, but we did a soft launch 6 months ago, and we're doing a hard launch in about 3 weeks. But the idea of HLTHE in my brain started about 4 or 5 years ago while I was touring the country in the pink trucks. Every small community that brings us in to fundraise around us brings us into the local Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's, Costco. And as I was sitting in front of those stores, which are great locations, and the stores supported us, all our people in our country are shopping buying our corporate goods. And we're going in there and we're giving them our money for their product, but they're not giving us anything back as in a philanthropic gesture. What they do is they take the profits and they donate to a third party called a large nonprofit. Well, I wanted to invent a way that those corporations, retailers, businesses, and government agencies now could donate legally to a customer or to a citizen who may be in need. Right now, it was illegal until I invented HLTHE.
Gotcha. So you're saying that they're usually donating to like a Goodwill or American Cancer Society, something like that.
Absolutely. And basically, all our wealth in the gifting and the giving, the gifts, tips, donations, and rewards, if you're doing it on behalf of healthcare, let's say, all of it is going to a third party that doesn't have a personal connection to us. Why would they ever give us anything? So what happens is I've never had any, but I've never had a nonprofit. Of the billions of dollars that are raised in the nonprofit sector, I've never had a nonprofit knock on my door and give me money. How come we never get any money? Ever. We're always raising it like sheep. We're always raising it, but we're never getting anything in return. Why is that? And that's a system that's been put in place, not to be negative about it. That's the only way it worked in the past. But new technology, like Uber did to the taxi cab business, I've invented a way now your corporations can donate to its customers and employees. Your government agencies can actually raise money for muscular dystrophy, target the 10 people in the community that have muscular dystrophy, and your firefighters raise actual real dollars that are sent over to that person. They don't get taxed, the firefighters get a write-off, and the doctors get paid. What a thought.
So really, let's go back. So you're talking that a lot of the money we don't see. It's obviously not that all of it goes to waste, but a large amount goes to kind of supporting these charitable bureaucracies. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely. It's like the house at the end of the block. It's the largest house with all the toys and the cars and the boats and the Ferraris. And you're at the other end of that the spectrum. We have one car in the littlest house. Are you going to come home and give part of your check to the biggest house? They're going to use all that money to take care of what they already have. And whatever may be left over, you may never see it again. So if you keep giving our money, our donations to large organizations that take 70, 80, 90 cents of that just to sustain their operation budget, what little money will never come to the people. It might go somewhere else. And I wanted to completely switch that. If we're getting sick, then we should get the donation. Then we should be able to decide where we want to go to pay for our medical benefits.
Yeah, I totally get it. And did you come across any research or statistics, or was this kind of an intuitive thing for you?
Oh, good question. That's a great question. Most of it is instinctive. So I've been doing stuff like this since I was a little boy. A lot of it never made any sense. And you talked about how you were brought up. Some people just go to college because they're told to. Some people can start companies and never spend 1 minute in this classroom. So instinctively, I feel for people. I don't feel for institutions. So what happens is that in this country, institutions don't fix problems, people do. Because people, when they come up with solutions, they don't think of themselves, they think of everybody but themselves. Institutions, when they come up with a fix, they think of themselves because they have to sustain themselves. So anytime they make a decision, it's about themselves. And we're left in the last, we're in line in the very end, the very last. So instinctively traveling across the country in my pink fire trucks, doing that for free, physically driving it to someone's home, giving them a hug, I started processing how can we get a benefit? Our corporations will benefit by being able to donate to a customer. Think about the reward in return, right? That's the most philanthropic gesture in the world, a corporation giving a donation for healthcare to a customer. I'm going to shop there.
Yeah.
I don't want fuel points. I want healthcare dollars.
And just so we can, last thing on that whole topic about big philanthropy, right? Is right. Where do you think the cutoff line is in your mind? You know, how much money or how many people?
Yeah, you're right. And how do you decide? So first of all, you know where the cutoff is for you and I in the future, because you're the future. I'm kind of tired. I'm going to be your friend. You're going to say, I met this guy, inspired me a little bit, and you're going to run with whatever I can give you. Because I'm tired. I'm 57, 56. But the cutoff is blockchain. So at the end of the day, if you're going to get in business, if you're going to use the American people or anybody in this world to raise money on behalf of hope, on behalf of healthcare, on behalf of whatever it is, you're going to run through a blockchain system where we can track our funds and know that 10% actually did go to overhead and the 90% actually did go to a human being to pay for healthcare. So blockchain is the turnover. Before blockchain and I invented this, it was $100,000 a CEO had to make. So a CEO of a nonprofit couldn't make more than the highest paid fire chief and police chief in this country that protects our communities. That was my being fair, right? So
okay.
If they're making that kind of money, then okay, they can run a nonprofit and help people and draw salary.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's move into that blockchain, right? HLTHE.com. You're using the blockchain. So walk us through how all that works.
So I'm not an IT guy and a tech guy, but I'll kind of, in a novice way, tell you, in a blue-collar way, tell you how I view blockchain and how it'll change everything that we do for the poor middle class. So out there, everybody listen to you. I'm you. I'm not a high-tech individual at all. So blockchain is if you have $500 in our platform and you decide to donate it to me, that $5 is always yours, even when I have it in my virtual wallet. So let's say that 500 is sent to me. 3 months from now, I spend $300 at the hospital. You'll be able to go in there and know that 300 of the 500 was spent at XYZ hospital. The other 200 was spent at XYZ pharmacy. You will always know that where your money ends up until it's finally paid out to a provider. So basically, it takes out all the guessing is gone.
Gotcha. And how are the payments regulated? Is it through you guys have a MasterCard or is it a Visa card?
So we can do it on our phones, but it's been really, it's hard for a lot of people to pay a bill to a provider because you have to sign up your provider and then send payment to them using our platform. So yes, now that we have a Visa card, when I send you $500, you're going to be able to go and get a Visa card that matches what you have in your account. And that will work at every provider and every pharmacy in the country, just like cash.
Got it. So almost like a prepaid debit card, but it only works for healthcare.
Absolutely, it's already pre-coded. And then what's really neat about it too, and again, you'll like this a lot. Being a younger person, you won't be able to custom code it for anything that insurance companies don't pay for. So acupuncture, mental health, maybe it's CBD oils, or maybe we add marijuana down the road for medicinal marijuana that's not being covered. You're having a cancer issue and your marijuana really works for you. Why shouldn't we be able to target, recode it, and be able to add that to our platform? Right.
Okay, great. I see that. And so that allows us to get the big fish out of the pond, the big charities and all the overhead. So then explain how it works for the employee-employer relationship, because we were talking about that offline, how employers could get back to employees and kind of create a new way of doing benefits, right?
Absolutely, because it's cash, right? So it's after tax. So typically all businesses find ways to donate. And I'm not saying that we quit donating to the Boys and Girls Club or donating to some service-oriented nonprofits in your community. But we as a country right now need to take better care of our employees, for sure. And if I can give an opportunity for a CEO or an employer to allocate donations at the end of the year, quarterly, to his own employees, and that money can only be used for healthcare, why not? Before I invented HLTHE, it was illegal for them to do that. They couldn't do it because you can't guarantee what the employee was going to use the money for. See, the real cool issue here is if I send you $500, it's not $500 for you to use wherever you want. It's $500 sitting in the nonprofit to pay the bill when you decide you want to pay that doctor. You never get to touch it. You just get to utilize what payment we pay for you. So that's really cool because now all the Indians on the Indian reservation are relegated to go into the Indian hospitals for their health care. Now their casinos can donate money to the people in the tribe. They call it HLTHE cash. It's a donation for the tribe. And the people that accrue it, it's non-taxable to them. It's not there, so they don't lose their government benefits, can go off the tribe and use any medical facility they want now. It's like cash pay. So it's really the nonprofit's money. Hold it in your honor until anytime you want to swipe that card. And as soon as we get notification, chiropractor A, on behalf of you, we pay that bill for you.
Got it. And so now is HLTHE in a position where it's got all the infrastructure it needs and it just needs the spark for everyone to start using it?
Yeah, so great question. Two things. I'm a social guy, so I want you and I look to see if you signed up. So anytime I meet someone, I want to inspire them, just create an account. I don't care if you ever use it. I know you're not sick. You won't get sick for a long time. But if I can tell Home Depot I have 30 million people on there, I can get Home Depot to start giving you free money. Home Depot's not going to give you money when I have 2,500 people on there.
Right.
But if all of a sudden a large segment of our population says, yeah, that's right, we deserve HLTHE cash, then they're going to donate to you versus a small charity. Because think about it. Charities don't lobby on behalf of you. Charities don't lobby on behalf of your company. People do. People never get anything. We keep supplying the country with all the resources, but what are we getting back? So in the healthcare industry, I wanted us to start accruing money for healthcare.
Gotcha. And, this also goes in a lot to the whole self-pay strategy. and really kind of, you could say cutting the insurance companies out. But we've got this giant block of legislation and all this extra bloat that comes with dealing with the compliance and the coding for the insurance. So I think this helps people that can't quite get into the whole self-pay strategy as well.
Right, absolutely. And think about also, too, again, think about, I love people, so I'm very good at reading behavior. Think about what the doctors are going to do if you and I and our whole fan base globally creates a healthy account. All the doctors will start lowering their prices. You want to know why? Because once you convert your money to healthy cash, you can't reconvert it back to cash. So they know you can only spend it on them. They're going to start fighting for our dollar. So you're going to get 20% off on your chiropractic visit if you use healthy cash. And this is when I do public speaking, I always say, they'll go, well, what's different between that and a $100 bill? Well, I know you and I both admit if I have a $100 bill in my wallet, I'm not going to pay my medical bill with that. I'm going to buy a beer, go party, and go on a date.
Yep.
Right? But if you've got healthy cash and a $100 bill, you have to use healthy cash at the medical bill, and you got it for free, and you don't have to pay taxes on it. Now your doctor's going to give you 20% off if you use your healthy cash because they get paid immediately. They don't have to wait 3 to 6 months for the insurance company to get reimbursed.
Right.
So you're going to create a whole bartering system with this platform. Corporations, businesses, and government agencies are going to take all that money they've been sending out of the community and direct it right back to our people who shop at our stores and pay taxes.
Great. Now, so you said you're going to have a hard launch in the next few weeks. What's that going to look like?
Well, again, it's all money driven, right? So I have a huge network with Pink Heels. We maybe have 1 million followers. If you get everybody was to actually share stuff, it's hard to get people motivated. But I have such a large network with Pink Heels, and that's what we're doing already. So I want to do a hard launch with the credit card. So our goal is 10,000 members and $1 million through the platform in the next 3 months. So radio, TV, I believe radio and TV. I mean, I've been asked to do radio and TV since my days playing professional baseball, since I hit the golf ball across America, since I started Pink Heels, and now that I have the Healthy Card, there's a really cool story there. There's a great interview process here if we go out and pitch that, versus just trying to pitch the Healthy Card.
Right. I mean, people got to know the people behind it.
Absolutely.
Right, for them to get connected.
For 12 years, I've started this nonprofit. We have and I'll just kind of tell you about 50 chapters. We're in 26 different states. About 250 pink police cars, fire trucks, ambulances. No one's allowed to be paid in an organization. I've never taken a paycheck. I fund the whole thing out of my own pocket. I've traveled over 400,000 miles, visiting over 400 communities in the last 12 years to create the most philanthropic corporation on earth to give you free money for healthcare. So you can do all your background checks you want. My office is my bedroom, just like yours. I have nothing to hide. I love people. I don't care where you go to church, who you freaking vote for, but if you partner with me, we all benefit.
Well, fantastic. Just fantastic.
It's so simple.
Anything else you want to leave us with before we go?
Yeah, just the healthy.com is for the people in this country that care about fixing healthcare. It's not about people that just need money for healthcare. So a lot of people, you don't need it because you're young, but I want you to think, how can I fix the healthcare problem? That's what some of our politicians have done really good when they go out and beat the streets, is they get people to believe if you join them, you have a chance to change. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to motivate the young. I always vision every college student in the country would wear a healthy t-shirt, sign up. I would get all the foundations at the universities to start giving free money to the college students for healthcare. They're giving it anyways. Why would they give it to the old students? They're paying 40 or 50 grand a year to go to school. So right. I mean, it's unbelievable. But
another conversation altogether, right?
Yes, absolutely. And then, by the way, leaving this, because people's brains are probably going to be rolling with this thing, is I can do healthy food with this and healthy education. So right now you see a homeless guy and the city signs him up. I get his member number. I send him $10 in healthy food. I do partnerships with Kroger's and all the grocery stores across America. They create healthy kiosks. All that food that they throw away at the end of the day, they create gift bags to go to the homeless, and now the homeless have to eat real food, and they don't have to travel 50 miles to go to a shelter. You just fix the homeless problem, and the store gets paid with healthy cash. We get 4.9% when you make the payment, and the homeless guy actually gets to eat real food.
Yeah, it's always been one of my concern is if you hand him a $20 bill, is he going to go buy smokes and a six pack? And it's like, you know.
You know, another thing too, if you hand me $100 bill, I'm not gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. Like I said, I'm gonna find a girl and go on a date with her.
Right,
So,
right.
Absolutely, cash isn't the answer. Identifying a certain currency using blockchain is. All of us at GIFT can follow it and track it and know where it goes. All of us will receive it. Don't get taxed and only can use it for one thing. I just created billions of dollars in free money for healthcare for people, not another institution. I'm not representing United Healthcare. I'm not representing the government. I'm representing people.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's a wrap, man. Thank you so much for being on. We'll keep in touch.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Have you ever sat down and thought about what is the government doing about poverty? How much have they really spent? You know, it seems like a lot. It seems like they're just throwing the kitchen sink at the problem. And you know what? I'll tell you, they definitely have. So take a look at this graph here. Now, Lyndon B. Johnson basically declared war on poverty. He created this new structure for welfare spending in the mid-60s, you know, with his ideas starting in around 1964 and really going into effect in 1965. And so you can see this you know, this line up in real per capita anti-poverty spending. You can see that the poverty rate had already dropped like a rock from 1962 to about 1968. And so we've been between 10 and 14%, 10 and 15% since then. Okay? Now, so clearly the spending is not correlate to the poverty in any way. It's not like if you spend more money, people will be more poor, and if you spend more money, people will be less poor. It just has nothing to do with it. It just has nothing to do with the problem. Okay? And the second thing, too, is that what does poor mean? I mean, us Americans are pretty rich. Most poor people have a car. Most poor people have a microwave oven. Most poor people have air conditioning. Most poor people have a TV, a smartphone. Their kid probably has a smartphone. They probably have a home computer, you know, personal computer, a laptop. So they have all those things, all the appurtenances of modern living, and all those things that actually allow us to kind of move up the ladder, if you will. If you have a cell phone and a computer and a car in America, you know, you can pretty much figure out the rest, right? You know, no money, you know, a lot of money in the bank or not. And so it's really not, it doesn't really have much to do with the amount of money this government spends. And, you know, the fact that people still remain on the street and still can't break out of it, I think has to do a lot with this whole dynamic of being on this welfare cliff. Like, okay, you go and you aggressively apply for government benefits, and the people in those offices will basically do anything to try to get you that money. You know, I hear story after story about people who gained the system, and, you know, they made like $100 too much to get into that affordable housing program, and they came back and they had like altered their paycheck or something, you know, and the guy handling the application was like, all right, you're good to go, we'll get you in, here's $700 off your rent. It's like, what? That's not how America is supposed to work. That is not how things work, right? And yeah, so exactly, the incentive for that person to actually make a better living, better income, to actually get a nice apartment, completely went out the window, right? And it really has nothing to do with what people are really dealing with. You know, it's not all about the money. The money, you know, the inability to make money or to like keep a job or to pay the rent, like it has to do with like other levels of integrity for that person, like other levels of, you know, it's like in the core of their being, like them learning life skills and, you know, learning to take responsibility. And sure, Lots of people do just end up down on their luck. But I think for both, for both pools of people, this whole, like, let's just throw money and resources at people just has people tied up. And you can see from this graph, like, it just has nothing to do with it, right? And what does actually make a difference is empowering people and giving them the tools to live an empowered life and to live powerfully, and to take responsibility for things. And I'm going to drop a couple links in the show notes to charities that I love. One of them is called Solutions for Change. They're in Chico, California, in Southern California. And look, they take people off the street and they put them in a program for 1,000 days. Yep, 3 years. And those people's lives are totally transformed. Why? Because the charity Solutions for Change gave them the tools to cope with life. How to pay the bills, how to file taxes, how to get a job, how to apply for a job, how to keep a job, how to negotiate with your boss, how to get your kids to do something without yelling at them, like just the little stuff. And sometimes people just need a little bit of training, right? And there's so many charities out there and so many companies and so many resources out there that actually teach people how to fish. But when we keep putting fish on their plate, why would they learn how to fish, right? To use the metaphor. You tell me, right? So look, if you like the show, go ahead and check us out at WeDoBetter.org. If you want to donate, go to WeDoBetter.org/donate. And you can check us out on Facebook. And go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification next time we got a video up. Thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Rick Rifkin, coming to you from Austin, Texas. Signing out.